we actually had a glossary, and we would train our sales reps on a bunch of investment banking terms so they could go in and have a conversation with investment banker and not sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
So they were going in talking about, Chinese walls and all this stuff, whereas our big competitor would come in and they would literally do like a call center demo for an investment banker, which is like nothing. That is not at all how investment banker works. And so they looked like they just didn't get that market at all.
That's
Whereas
such
we
a
could
good.
get really narrow and come in, do a demo that was highly targeted right at the work stream of that particular individual. We used all their terminology. All our demo data looked like investment banking data. Like we just came in there looking way smarter
Yeah.
than the other folks. And then same thing with our marketing. Like, we narrowed down to like a target list of customers that was 2,000 accounts.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's all we have to focus on are these 2,000 accounts. Like everything is just so much easier.
That's funny. Like that's probably a good piece of writing for you to do at some point. Just the vocabulary training per industry to make sure that the positioning resonates. I think we've had examples of where we've been dealing with people who regarded themselves as in the banking industry, and then our AEs would have used the term fintech, and then those in the banking industry would be very offended because they are not a fintech, they're in banking. And if you get these small nuances wrong, then people just call your bluff and say, you don't know about our industry
You don't
because
know
you
about our
haven't
stuff.
understood it.
Like, and you got to be careful with this because sometimes it really, really matters, and sometimes it doesn't matter all that much. So you got to sort of decide, like, how much does this matter? Now, in the case of investment banking for something, a concept like Chinese wall is super important because it's talking about security and compliance about where information gets shared.
Yeah.
And that's where and so if somebody mentioned a Chinese wall and you didn't know what that was very scary for an investment banker because they're like, if this thing doesn't, comply with this separation between the research group and the investment banking group, then we're all going to go to jail. So it's okay sometimes if you don't get the terminology quite right on some of the minor stuff, but there's some of the big stuff that you at least need to understand that concept because you're not getting a deal doing CRM with an investment bank if you don't understand that there's this division of information and it can't cross this wall.